now. Let's see if, now that I have confirmed my check-in, I'm going to stay another day, or at least I'm paying for another day. It's freezing cold outside. I don't know where to go. I'm tired. I don't know what this person is doing. It's just really odd and weird. He's looking right at it. Oops. He's looking right at us. He was. Of course, I didn't get that on video. It's so weird. It's like I feel like the universe is like just working against us. I mean, I stopped here. I saw it when I drove by to get to somewhere I was going yesterday, and so it wasn't like a planned out thing. I hadn't looked it up online, and so therefore they wouldn't know. Unlike what other people have said about mind reading and stuff by whoever the fuck these people may be or whatever the fuck's going on here. I have not found that to be the case. And so, but them being able to be on my phone and know where I'm going ahead of time, I've definitely found to be the case. Anyhow, when we checked in, it was just like it's like I feel like the universe is just working against us. Like I couldn't find my keys, and then I had to go back out, and then I looked in the RV, and like by then he was there, that guy in the black Impala, and then I couldn't find them, and then I had to go to the front desk, and I'm just like, it's like those minutes count for me, like being able to get into the room before they can, and especially if they don't know I'm coming here. And it's just like, fuck, And so then automatically some weird shit just started happening, And like as soon as we got in, there was like this like that happened at the door. And both of the dogs almost started barking, but I was like tried to stop them because I didn't want them. I didn't know if they were trying to confirm that that was the room that I was in or what, but the second time it happened, I jumped up and went to the door, and there was a white male with a mask on and carrying like a shirt or whatever. And I was like, "Did you knock at my door?" And he's like, "No." And I'm thinking, what the fuck, But then that fucking shit was in the room, and then the refrigerator went brum and started like getting super loud, and so I unplugged that fucking thing, which is just like living in a world that is just too insane for me. Like, I don't even understand. And then the toilet, like, there was this huge flushing sound, and like it was like, I literally thought that it was flooding in here. It was that loud. And so I came in here, and that smell was coming in the room. And so I fucking shut this door and kept it closed, and you know, it's not fair because literally everything they do and then my responses to them or my ability to try to deal with it makes me look totally insane. Like, if you guys don't think I'm not thinking to myself, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going on here, So, but it's like every time I think that, okay, maybe there's a federal agent, maybe they're helping me, like, I got a better look at him, and I don't know, it didn't look like a fucking federal agent to me. But see when he leaves, because literally he was just sitting in there and then he left. He didn't go into the building. I didn't see him come into the lobby. I didn't see him come into the building. I didn't see him do shit except for sit outside there by my RV and then leave. So I've called a security company. I'm not going to name which one. And they said that they promised that they'd call me back yesterday after talking to the bigger, I don't know, the head guy or whatever, and no phone call. And I called today and no phone call back. I mean, just for the record, literally fucking organized crime guys run this country, and I get that they're in every single town and every single city and every single place you go. Here you go, sweetie. Come. I get that. Come, come here. Come on, it's okay. You gonna go back to where you were? Come here. Come here. Get over here. Come, Snuggles. And I get that. Like, I mean, that's just the way things have been throughout history. Like, there's just bad people that decide to come into places and then they exploit and they strong arm and they intimidate and that's how they work. And it's like, okay, fine, you know, like, I get that, but I'm telling you right now that the United States is like in the pocket of these people more so than I bet you in other places, and the unwillingness to fight back and the I don't know, there's something about the about US people that they seem to want to like be friends with bad people. I don't know if it's like movies that have engendered people to want to be that's not even probably the right word. I don't know, my heart hurts, my chest hurts. I was having major chest pains yesterday because I just inhaled so much of that stuff and I had drank coffee, but I mean, I had what, 4 coffees with, so I had a total of 8 espressos from 1 o'clock till, you know, all night long. I didn't have to drink any more. All I had to do was every time I felt like that stuff was overwhelming me, all I had to do was get up and move and get outside and get fresh air. And that was the place. That was the good thing about that place. The bad thing about the base of the mountain motel was that the entire motel filled with fucking rapists. Um, the whole thing. I don't even know how many people were there that thought they were gonna fucking rape me. So, but the bad thing for them is that because it was old school, like the windows could be open, and yes, she could go up above in the attic and do her window thing and whatever, but ooh, that feels really bruised right here. Right here. I don't know if anything is showing, but this, just on this side. All around, just really this area right here. No, it's dark in here. Can you see anything? It's like so weird to wake up and like assess your injuries. But the bad thing for them was like you keep just walking out the door and like, you know, and keep, you know, a lookout of the room and everything, which is not easy to do in places like this. Like me just taking Miho out because he still had to poop and leaving Vita in here because she didn't want to come. I can't keep an eye on anybody coming into this room. Like all they have to do is get a room nearby, and then as soon as I walk out the door, there's an opportunity to come in the room. And if you have people like that sitting outside, then you can say, oh, okay, she's outside. Okay, she's coming back in. You know, it's definitely in the room, you know, and that started pretty quickly right away. But I was so tired from staying awake all night. Well, I went to sleep at like 7 yesterday at the base of the mountain hotel, and that was, I laid down finally and was like, the lights out, you know, it's going to be harder for them. Like, but obviously there were so many of them staying at the motel that they didn't have as much concern or worry about getting caught coming into the room, because then she cut my hand. You know, I showed that on the other video. She cut that, which is very similar to the cut that she put on my fingers, and this one is just sore as fuck, and I need to deal with that. But yeah, and my arm, oh my god, my arm is just getting worse and worse and worse. Like, she's just totally disabling that arm. And I know it seems like, yeah, well, look, you're using it, but it's like I move it in certain directions and it's a literal scream and pain moment. It's that sore. So I don't know what's wrong with it. I have no idea. All I know is from the results of what she does to my fingers, which this one's super stiff today, the middle finger, this one as usual. This is still swollen from the cuts from before. The cuts on my finger she redid one right in the middle instead of going for the same one over there. Um, I don't understand. I don't understand. It's impossible. I can never explain this to anybody, for anybody to actually believe me, because I cannot explain it. Like, this is an astronomical amount of people involved in something that, I mean, it's just, it doesn't add up, you know? So, but yeah, they definitely were planning on sex trafficking me to the people that were in room 8 and to the people in room 6, because as soon as I laid down, I had the window open and the curtain open, and they just started pelting. I could hear them outside getting in and out of their cars and stuff like that, but they just kept pelting the fucking window with the shit. Because it's like when it's like that, and you can, it's this, the burn is much more intense when it's like they're doing it right at you. um, so then I turned over, and, but she got to me every time. I think, oh, I mean, I have gotten away with times where I stayed up all night, and then I've gotten to be able to take a little nap for like an hour because she's not sure if I'm awake or not. But for the amount of stuff they use, they feel pretty sure, like, and they're right. I mean, if I don't move and I don't get up, I'll be knocked out. There's no, you know, but I couldn't do anything yesterday. My chest was just hurting so badly from that stuff, and the dogs and I were just so dazed and confused, and I just had to get somewhere just to lay down and go to sleep. And literally the last thing I remember being here in the hotel, I remember it being probably at about, it was probably about 7 p.m. and I crashed. And I woke up a few times hours later. I didn't really know what time it was or anything, and I just kept going back to sleep. It was getting hot, or then it was cold, or whatever. But this is really happening, so maybe in the future, after I'm dead, and I don't know, maybe these videos will mean something to the people who actually want to fight this stuff, which apparently are probably this much of the fucking population. But, I know there's good people out there. I know there are. I think that they don't, they don't want to get involved. They don't want to fight. They get pressured from these people, and it's like, and they just say, nope, not worth it. But I think you're missing the greater implication of what this means for the future and society and raping of women and children, and having people who are, they're not even human, just proliferate. And because I don't get it. There's no, to me, reasonable explanation why the Federal Bureau of Investigations wouldn't want to do something about this. I mean, they could literally arrest like hundreds of rapists, and people who are, willing to rape a woman who's just completely unconscious, who's just been raped by somebody else, who's going to be tortured by some woman after all of it. Like, these aren't well people, and you don't want them, like, walking around in the world. You could arrest sex traffickers, drug traffickers. You could arrest a crazy, insane woman who tortures me all the time, who, like, I never had any prior relationship with her at all, and now she's just completely obsessed with being able to touch my body every single day and do harm to me, and if she can, get me in a hotel where she can knock me out and then sex traffic me. So, it's in the air right now. I can feel it on my eyes. My eyes are just blurry and cloudy, and Yeah. Who knows? Maybe she chose to sex traffic me to the people who didn't get a hold of me at the base of the mountain motel. Oh, yeah, and by the way, when I had checked in, the woman said that they had security that would come by every couple of hours. They come by a couple times a night or whatever, and they get out and they walk through the parking lot and everything. Never came. Never came. Not once. And you can say, oh, well, that's probably just, he just never comes and, he just doesn't do his job or whatever. My guess is that they contacted him and told him, do not come here tonight, you know? Because they wouldn't be sure of when I'd be asleep, when they, and they don't want to have somebody that I can say, oh, well, hey, that guy, I saw that guy's vehicle there. He has to know something, you know? So, yeah, there's that. There's that. But so many people knowing and so many people involved. I mean, there's so many women that get sex trafficked in this country and children. It seems like a lot of effort for one person. And they just seem to be ascribing to me like an enormous amount of threat that I don't see exists because nobody fucking listens to anything I say. So, and they've really worked very hard at the gaslighting and I'm crazy and everything. And like right now, it's just like super strong in the room. I mean, one way I can tell is I'm having chest pains. This stuff causes chest pains. I mean, you look up anesthesia, and one of the effects is going to be on your heart, you know? And yeah, that's why if, like my cat who had a heart condition, which I believe came from their poisoning at one point in Hawaii, but then they didn't poison him for very many years, and, but that's why I couldn't get his teeth done, because if you have a heart condition, you're not really supposed to go under anesthesia because it fucks with your heart, lowers your blood pressure, like it obviously, causes hypothermia and all that other stuff. And just for the way V's acting, I'm guessing that they came in while Miho and I went out, and Miho's dying to take a long walk. I wouldn't mind taking a long walk and getting out of here, but Vita's not going to want to do that, and if I do that, they'll spend all the whole time in here setting up the ability to come in here later. But what is the benefit for the feds to let these people do this shit? Like, I don't understand. Like, okay, so you have the ability to use this substance, anesthesia. Like, I can't think that other people haven't, like, this hasn't crossed their minds before. I mean, in all the years of science, like, of all the dictators, of all the crazy people like Putin, you don't have somebody who poisons people and kills people all the time. Like, you don't have, you know, I mean, like, what's so important that I'm gonna talk about it? Who's gonna fucking listen to me? You know? Nobody. Nobody cares. I'll be honest. Even this is a little message to the feds. I'll be honest. Even if people knew that this shit was going on, they ain't gonna do shit about it. What are they gonna do? Protest you? Like what? Right? Who knows? Maybe why they keep leaking information recently. Like we keep seeing on the news, like aliens. This, like the government's putting out little by little, like information about aliens, which to me, I've always figured, of course, there's some sort of life form somewhere else. It would be super arrogant to assume that there's not, But I mean, because there's still organisms being discovered here in the, here in, on Earth. Um, I haven't spent that much time thinking about it because, again, it's like one of those things that, I mean, I don't know anything about, so I don't have any control over it, and I'm not gonna, in whatever times I might have to, be able to, maybe there'll be a fight at some point and like in the movies or whatever, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time preparing for it because I don't know what the fuck it is. So, I mean, if there was some clear cut way of like figuring out something, then yeah, but I don't really see that. So, Um, but is that what's happening now? Is it because there's been so much turmoil and so much just, or maybe because literally the planet's becoming worth nothing to anybody because of the amount of damage done to it? And are there fucking aliens? Are these people fucking aliens? Is that something they don't want? Is that why they're starting to sort of leak this information out? I mean, what I do know is that the general person, and I would say even more so the American people, because they're so, oh my God, it's so thick in the room. I can't believe I just paid for another night to stay here when it's like, it just feels like shit flying in your eye, you know, but it sticks to it. It's not like, I mean, Jesus Christ, when this first started happening, I'd spend how many, I mean, how often a night would I be rinsing out my eyes, rinsing out my eyes, rinsing out my eyes, you know, because it was just, it was a major irritant, you know. No words, I don't even know what to do. I'm using my tears to try to get this shit out of my eyes. But yeah, chest pain. Here. I know my heart is over here, but this hurts right here. Why let people just abuse my body and like stuff like this? Why? It's like sickness just grows. Why?